Oh, um, just absolutely appalling news about Diogo Jota. And I wanted to jump on and talk to anybody who's just hearing the news for the first time as well. Absolutely horrible, horrible news. And yeah, it's never happened in my lifetime that I can think of that an elite player still playing, kind of in their prime, has lost their life. And I wanted to jump on really because, we make these videos and fans, obviously, even in the summer, get incredibly frustrated about their teams. And I'm a Tottenham fan. So in Tottenham's case, the fans getting very frustrated that we haven't made any signings. And then sometimes things happen that just, that really make you realize that life's more important, that there are so many more important things and how lucky we are. And like I've put in the title, really, I think now for the rest of this summer and beyond, put football rivalries and allegiances away. Like it's not important. It's really not important. Like life is important. And this is a young man. Like he got. I was just watching Sky News. He got married just over a week ago. 2 young children, I think. His brother killed as well. We shouldn't forget about his brother. He was in the car as well. I've just seen a tweet from the Portuguese Federation. They said, "We've lost 2 champions. Their deaths represent irreparable losses for Portuguese football, and we will do everything we can to honor their legacy." His brother is called Andre Silva, 25-year-old, played for Penafiel in the Portuguese second division. Like absolutely just blows you away, doesn't it? I just was really shocked. I was just getting into the shower and I saw on TikTok, and unfortunately, the first thing that came up to tell me was the Daily Mail, and I immediately thought that has to be fake. So I went to the BBC website, and it didn't have anything on the BBC website, so I thought it's fake. So I went back to the TikTok that the Daily Mail thing was on, clicked on the Daily Mail, and it was the actual Daily Mail. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So then I Googled it, and Sky had already come out with it at that point. And I know it shouldn't, but for some reason, when it's someone famous, and in this instance, like I said, the first time it's happened with like a current playing footballer, who frankly was a genius. Diogo Jota was an unbelievable player, like a magnificent footballer. But for some reason, when it happens like that, it really, it's like it kind of stabs you in the stomach. It's really weird. And I've had, those of you who watch my channel regularly will know, because I spoke about it a month or so ago. I've had family loss, really close family loss myself in the last couple of years. And it's a weird thing because in my experience, I don't know about yours, but in my experience, when I've had really close family loss, the initial feeling is kind of shock. Your body goes into a weird shock. Whereas when it happens that you hear that a famous person has died, and someone in this instance who, you watch play the sport that you love and that you're incredibly passionate about all the time, and you're like impressed with how good they are, and then there's a part of you that wishes they played for your club, but when you hear that they die, it's a whole different feeling. It's almost like it's like instinctively, initially, weirdly sadder. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I just want to tell you guys, because quite a lot of you are on here watching, just want to let you know I've turned monetization off for this video. I'm not on here to monetize this. I've no interest in that whatsoever. I just kind of wanted to, jump on and speak to people because I just think the football community really need to kind of stand together at this point and see, how we're all feeling. And in the comments, so many of you feeling exactly the same. Darcian says, one of my favorite players from Liverpool. Rest in peace. Take care, everyone. Life's unpredictable. That's such a brilliant point at the end there. It is so unpredictable. I don't know about you, but I spend so much of my time kind of overthinking and worrying about every little decision I'm making and how it's going to impact the next decision I make, how it's going to impact the next 5 minutes or hour or year. And then you forget, it's almost like you don't allow yourself to think that actually it can just be taken away from you straight away. So really, just there's a part of you that should really just be like, do whatever you can to enjoy your life as much as you can. I'm just seeing a picture on Twitter now. Yeah, Diogo Jota 7 days ago, married with his 2 kids there as well. It's so devastating. It is so devastating. Deary me. Pranay, thank you, says rest in peace. Just a testament to the cruelty of life. Very devastating. My condolences and wishes to his family and everybody at Liverpool Football Club. Completely agree. I straight away, my dad was a Liverpool fan. I mean, we lost my dad 2 years ago, 2023. He was a Liverpool fan. So I've always had a soft spot for Liverpool. I don't support them myself, but they try and do the things the right way, and they've gone through a lot. Liverpool as a club and Liverpool fans have gone through a lot down the years. What a terrible day for them. Food, one of the worst days in football history. Rest in peace and condolences to everyone close to him and to his brother. Yeah, I think it's really important that his brother and the rest of his family aren't forgotten. But yeah, what a horrible thing to happen. Like, cut down in the prime of their lives, and how appalling for their family. Oh my God, can you even imagine? Like, I just think, this from Eccentric. I've been crying for the last 5 minutes. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Just going to keep trying to bring you the news as it happens. I think at the beginning, kind of half an hour ago, I think some news outlets were kind of reticent until they heard the official news. From what I've heard, it happened at around 1 a.m. last night, and Sky News was saying that the car came off the road somewhere in Spain. I didn't see where exactly, but the only things I can think of, football wise, to get close to it, kind of when Gary Speed took his own life, and obviously he'd stopped playing, but he was manager of Wales at the time. Like, that was a huge story. And obviously, like, Mark Vivian Foe, like he was an I think West Ham player. He died on the pitch, obviously. And there have been a few deaths on the pitch. Obviously, Fabrice Muamba, who collapsed at Spurs, he managed to get through, but just so sad. Everybody in the comments just obviously so sad. This is King Wookie says, I'm a City fan, but this hurts. Rest in peace, Jota. And that's exactly why I put in the title, a time to put football rivalries and allegiances away. Just sometimes you realize that I do feel like in the modern day, football has basically become, and I'm guilty of this as well, but basically football has become an opportunity for fans with social media to just take the piss out of each other, basically. And then important things like this come up and you're like, why are we doing that? Like, why are we doing that? Why is it important to us? I guess in reality, just to play devil's advocate, it's like the equivalent of, being down the pub with a group of mates and you don't all support the same team. So you're taking the piss out of each other. And that's kind of what social media has amplified. But really, I think when you see all the kind of comments here and all the comments you see on social media after the terrible, the devastating death of Jota, you realize that actually most people are good people. And hopefully it kind of, things like this can kind of shake us up a bit and realize, there are just way more important things in life than just always trying to one up each other because, Spurs won a trophy or Liverpool won the league or, Arsenal, only came second again. It's like, they're just, we've got to make the most of our life in more positive ways. Mustafi here, exactly, says, times like these, we have to put our rivalries aside and honor his legacy. I completely agree. And actually, I really hope that the Premier League do honor his legacy, find a way to really show fans and stakeholders and everything how important the real life human element of this magnificent sport that we all love is, and not just kind of let it sweep under the carpet once the season starts. So sad. Obviously, there was a time back in the 90s where the Zambian national team's airplane crashed and they all passed away. Obviously, Munich in the 60s, the early 60s, Manchester United and Munich. But there is an example, terrible thing. Like opposition fans of Manchester United sometimes sing songs reveling in that, and that's what I'm talking about. We need to stop that stuff. We do. And listen, I'm a Spurs fan, and Tottenham fans sing songs about Sol Campbell dying. And I think times like this, maybe we need to let it kind of shake us all up and realize that we shouldn't be doing that. And we've got to realize that these people who are performing for us and entertaining us are just humans, and they have feelings and families. And maybe this is another opportunity to, kind of in real time for us all to discuss that we should celebrate this game more and celebrate the genius people who perform in this game for us. I can see that like very sporadic, but I can see one negative comment in my comments. I cannot believe that. I really cannot believe that. Anyone who kind of puts a negative comment in here about Diogo Jota, and just awful. Like who says Portugal and Liverpool lost a gem. Yeah, I want to talk about Diogo Jota. Was a brilliant footballer, diminutive in stature, but so classy on the ball. His movement was just unbelievable, and then really excellent vision as well. Picked out teammates, and then the hardest thing in football, as they all talk about, he's a brilliant finisher. A brilliant finisher. You got Diogo Jota in a good position on the pitch, and he would more often than not put it in the back of the net. And Liverpool have lost a genuinely important player, and like I said, I just cannot think of any other time in my lifetime where that's happened. In the top league in English football, where a player has, and let me know if you can think of any, but where a player has been cut down in their prime like this. That's why this is just such a horrible moment. Tensi says, can't believe this is real. Geldad, rest in peace, Jota and brother from Leeds United. Thank you. For those fans who are not just Liverpool fans, or because I'm a Spurs fan, that my usual audience who are Tottenham fans, really appreciate comments from all across the football community. This is great. Rock, I'm a United fan and sad to hear this. Like I said, allegiances have to be put aside and just realize what a horrible time this is. MD says it's straight up shocking news when you can't process it for over 10 minutes. It's a difficult moment. Mickey M says life is a gift. Yeah, great point. So sad. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. You'll never walk alone. Condolences to their families. My heart is breaking. Yeah. You'll never walk alone. Think about all the stuff Liverpool have had to go through. Hillsborough, they were involved in the Heysel disaster, of course. The city of Liverpool are amazing at coming together and supporting each other, and they will again, and they'll have to again. But my God, they've had to go through it. Okay, a message from FC Porto. FC Porto is in mourning. It is with shock and deep sorrow that we send our heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, who was also our athlete in the youth ranks. Rest in peace. Absolutely awful. I see Stefan Borson, who is the kind of financial expert. He's just written a tweet that says that Jota news is spine tingling, and that's a really good way of putting it. It does run that feeling up your spine, doesn't it? Almost kind of goosebumps. Piers Morgan. I'm not a huge fan of Piers Morgan, but he's an important person. Desperately sad news coming out of Spain that Liverpool and Portugal star Diogo Jota has died along with his brother in a car accident in Zamora. He only got married 2 weeks ago. Heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Ben Bowman, who's a content creator, really respect. Life is so short. Don't take anything for granted. You never know what's around the corner, really, do you? That Jota news is so heartbreaking. 3 young kids married very recently. Rest in peace. Completely agree. Gary Neville, that is heartbreaking news on Diogo Jota and his brother. All my love and best wishes to the family. Oh, dearie me. Just a few of you saying to block some negative people in there. If I see them, I will block any negativity. Of course, I will. Rowan says, genuinely shocked. This guy was an outstanding player. Feel for his parents losing both sons. Yeah, totally agree. And yeah, look, my mum lost. I lost my brother. My mum lost her son, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult, and we have no idea what that feels like, and what it would be like for Diogo's mother to lose both sons. It's just awful, absolutely awful. Mr. Pragmatism, rest in peace, Josh. So sad. Life is fragile, guys. Make the most of it with your loved ones. That's exactly it. Really great sentiment. Like I said earlier, it's like you're so busy sometimes in your own head, just thinking about yourself all the time, that you just don't realize, and like I said, I've lost really close family members, and yet your body almost, it certainly in my case, kind of forces you to keep on going and almost try and forget about it, so you can keep on going and making decisions that are about things that are far less important, trying to make money or material things, or content or whatever. And sometimes you just, sometimes you get a sharp thing that happens like this. It's so weird. I can't explain it. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. But it's like, why is it that when somebody famous dies that you kind of watch, in this instance in a sport, and that you're passionate about, that you love, that you somebody that you're impressed by, why is that such a sharp feeling? It's I don't understand the psychology of it, I guess, is what I'm thinking. Dan Smith, thank you, mate. Says, life is so fragile. May you rest in peace. Football comes second when news like this arrives. Sad loss of two beautiful souls. That's it. Football comes second. Football is not important on a day like this. It is just not important. And yeah, just shocking. Okay, I've just seen someone posting negative stuff. I can assure you guys, I'm banning and blocking anybody who writes negative comments about this. Formula says, I'm a Chelsea and Portugal fan. I can't believe this. Rest in peace, Jota and his brother. Yeah, I'm sure. I've no doubt that the whole of Portugal is in mourning right now. Can't be forgotten. He's a key player in the international team of Portugal, and I'm sure a hero to most Portuguese fans. Really kind of, come from Portugal to make the most of his talent and become basically a global icon in a way, Diogo Jota. When you get to play for Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and not just, no offense at this point to like Man City or Chelsea, but not just a big club because they've become big in the last 20 years, a big club for 50 years, 60 years, Liverpool, a global icon if you play for Liverpool, That's another reason why this is such a huge story, a player of immense talent. Okay, official statement from UEFA. Following the passing of Diogo Jota and his brother, the Portuguese Federation is requesting UEFA to hold a minute silence before Portugal-Spain tonight at the Women's Euros. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? David De Gea has posted on his Instagram a picture of Jota, and sometimes life is very cruel, with the praying emoji and the heartbreak emoji. Oh, so sad. Here's a dangerous one. I appreciate you commenting, Mystic, but this is where I want to talk about the broadcasters a bit more. Rest in peace, Josh. Sky Sports News just said that the tyre burst on his car and it got sent off the road. You'll never walk alone. I think sometimes outlets, and Sky News are, professional broadcasting outlet. I think sometimes they jump to conclusions a bit early. Like nobody will know for sure. A full investigation will not have been done yet. So I don't think anybody should really, like Sky News, be saying what happened to the car exactly or anything like that. And unfortunately, with the modern day of the breaking news 24-hour news cycle media, they will all be jumping to conclusions. They'll get experts into Sky News on car crashes, and and they'll be looking at the photos and trying to work it out. And I just think stuff like that is a bit unfair on the family, basically. And I just think everybody should be a little bit slower to do that stuff. But I get it. It's also human nature. Jamie speaking for all Spurs fans, may you rest in peace. Condolences to his family. Condolences to, I completely agree, condolences to Diogo Jota's family, to all of the fans and staff and players and supporters of Liverpool Football Club and Portugal. And like I said in the title, you know, a time, and I haven't just put a day, I put a time to put football rivalries and allegiances away, to not, in my case, make TikToks about, taking the piss out of, I've taken the piss out of Everton Stadium in the last day or so, or Aston Villa for breaking PSR rules. And it's like, it's not, it's got to stop for now. Like, there's no point. It's not about entertainment at the moment. It's about, thinking deeply, I think, about what football is for us and what football brings for us as entertainment and passion and part of our lives, and how important, I think, most importantly, how important those players who play the game are to our lives, and to really appreciate that, respect those players, because we don't give them enough respect. In fact, when footballers for our clubs or other clubs, when they play well, we just kind of see it as their job. You hear yourself say it all the time. Well, that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. But they are the reason a lot of the time that we are happy. If our team wins, those players are single-handedly responsible for our happiness that week. We all talk about how football is a break from reality for us. And it's so important to us, football, and these are the people who do it for us. And on days like this, we've got to really, really realize how important they are to our lives, and appreciate them more. I don't think we appreciate them enough. I think that's fair to say. Jagdip, I'm a Man United fan. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, I think today is a day to say you never walk alone. And I'm going to add it to my title, actually, because I think that's I think it's a stunning thing, a stunning messaging for what's happened today, basically. Jay says, God bless everyone. Life is short and we must cherish it and be better to each other. Completely agree. Ahmed has written a message about cruel people in the comments. I promise you, Ahmed, where I see the comments, I will be deleting them and banning those people. But I'm just going through the comments and bringing up the ones that I think are really amazing in time. So I'm not able to see them all in real time. Apologies for that. Just want to, for those of you on at the moment, I just want to re-emphasize, I'm not monetizing this video. I've turned the monetizing off. I just wanted to talk to people and bring the news in real time as well, if I can help anyone on that side. Jamie Carragher's just tweeted, devastating news about Diogo Jota. Actually, might not be a tweet. Devastating news about Diogo Jota and his brother Andre this morning. Thoughts are with everyone and their family and friends, especially his wife Ruth and their 3 lovely kids. Oh, dearie me. Gerson says, rest in peace, Diogo. We'll miss you, dear brother. May your soul rest in peace. You'll never walk alone. Oh, dear. KG says he had his coaching badges. He was ready to transition after his playing career. I'm truly broken. I didn't know that about his coaching badges. Thank you for your comment, KG. I see from your avatar, you must be a Liverpool fan. Just must be such a devastating day. I mean, it is for all of us who love football, I think, but especially for Liverpool fans. What a talent, what a player. Scored numerous important goals for Liverpool. Let's not forget he played at Wolves, didn't he, before as well? Difficult day for Wolves fans, I'm sure, as well as Liverpool and Porto, who he came up through, and the Portuguese fans, of course. Gargan says, I'm from Nepal, but the news is very sad. Rest in peace, Jota. Completely. Azim gone in his prime. Rest in peace, Jota. Absolutely. Some people are commenting in might be Portuguese or Spanish. I'm afraid I don't read Portuguese, but I really appreciate your comments as long as they're positive, of course. Joanne Doherty, thank you for your comment. I'm tearing up just thinking of him on the pitch. Yeah. Jay, when we all get together at Anfield, that you'll never walk alone will hit different. Yeah. And Liverpool, the Liverpool fans, they are the best fans. They are the best fans in the world. I it's not something I would normally really think about, because, a Spurs fan, and you think about yourselves and your own fan base. But in reality, there's a reason why clubs basically cannot win at Anfield. It's so rare to win at Anfield because the Liverpool fans create the best atmosphere. They protect each other. They support each other. Not just Liverpool football fans, but Liverpool as a city. The most kind of what I would call like Liverpool see themselves almost as a country within a country. You know, they see being Scouse as a nationality, and that's because they you know, it's a working class city, and they're not really respected by the rest of the country a lot of the time. It's why they hate Tories. They hate the Sun newspaper after what happened at Hillsborough, and they gather together. They get together. Listen, my dad was from Liverpool, so my whole half that side of my family is from Liverpool. So my cousins are all Liverpudlians. You know, that they are good people who really know what, you know, what hardship is. And, you know, once again, they're going to have to go, they're going through hardship now, and they will gather together and they will support one another, and they will, you know, they'll appreciate the support and comments they're getting from the rest of the country, but they'll probably see it as a bit of us and them, and only in a positive way, guys. I'm talking in a fully positive way about the people of Liverpool. Just a magnificent city, and there'll be no Liverpool and Everton today. I remember after Hillsborough, I'm old enough, Everton as a club supported Liverpool through all of that. I remember, I don't know if it was the Everton captain or the Everton manager at the time laying a wreath at Hillsborough or at Anfield, and yeah, there'll be no rivalry in that city anytime soon. They will all stick together, and I just think it's a real day for all football fans, whatever team you support, wherever you're from, to realize that this is a game that is bigger than our rivalries. It's bigger than allegiances. It's bigger than our, you know, jealousies of other clubs' success or anything like that. It's a game of humans, and it's a game of emotion, and just devastated. Like, just, I said it earlier, but just when I read it, just like felt like something going into my stomach. Just a devastating bit of news. Liston, thank you so much for your comments. Football is usually a release from the hardship of life, so when sadness of life crashes into football, it hurts a lot. Yeah, devastating. Really nicely put. Really nicely put. Zerk says, rest in peace, Jota and his brother Andre. I'm a Real Madrid fan. He was such an underrated player. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Do you know what? Thank you so much, Zerk. That is exactly it. Diogo Jota, super underrated. So talented. And yeah, he went for a lot of money from Wolves, but underrated. He always came up with important goals. Okay, I'm just going to break into that because Liverpool have released their statement. Liverpool Football Club are devastated by the tragic passing of Diogo Jota. The club have been informed that the 28-year-old has passed away following a road traffic accident in Spain, along with his brother Andre. Liverpool FC will be making no further comment at this time and request the privacy of Diogo and Andre's family, friends, teammates, and club staff. As they try to come to terms with an unimaginable loss, we will continue to provide them with our full support. Yeah, that's yeah, exactly what you'd expect from a club. Very, very respectful message from a club who have been through so much. Here, good point from Big Sir Holy. I don't think news from the football world has hit me this hard since Eriksen collapsed on the pitch. That's right. That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Christian Eriksen, who's one of my favorite ever Tottenham Hotspur players, and he just left Tottenham for Inter Milan in the previous year, and of course playing for Denmark in the Euros, collapsed on the pitch. That feeling, that it's a bit different, I guess, because that was in real time and you didn't know what was going to happen. But it's a similar feeling, undoubtedly, like the feeling of just not being able to breathe because something has really kind of affected your stomach. And thankfully, Christian was able to pull through. But yeah, horrible feeling. Ah, dearie me. Roma says, losing someone is difficult. Imagine losing two sons. I wasn't related to them. I'm hurting over here. Can't even imagine it. Yeah, exactly. I feel exactly the same way. Sushian Taman, sorry. Life is so unpredictable. He got married 5 days ago. Condolences to his family. And Corey Boy says, a family overnight has lost 2 sons, uncles, husbands, fathers, friends. The football fan base as a whole has lost such a talented player. Rest well, young man, from a Spurs fan. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate them. And yeah, I think in the most part, 99.9% of all the comments going through today are unbelievably, passionate and respectful and sad and devastated, all those emotions that we're all feeling right now. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Any comments that I see here that are negative, I'll be banning that user and deleting them where I see them. And once again, I'm not monetizing this video. This is not about monetizing it. I just wanted to talk to fellow football fans. As much as I love my girlfriend who's in the next room, she's not a huge football fan, and therefore and it's just natural. Human nature, just not devastated in the same way I am. I said to her, a really brilliant genius footballer, Premier League footballer who plays for Liverpool has died, and she's like, oh, that's so sad. But I couldn't really talk to her about it, so I wanted to kind of, speak to you guys in the comments and hear what you're saying. Tottenham Hotspur have released a statement. Everyone at Tottenham Hotspur is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Diogo Jota. Our thoughts and condolences are with his family, friends, and all at Liverpool Football Club at this incredibly difficult time. Yeah. Oh dear. Just looking to see if there are any other statements as they come out, really. Oh, dearie me. Just terrible, terrible news. Sausage says, rest in peace from a Man City fan. Thank you. Martin, heart goes out to you all from the Celtic family. I'm so happy and pleased to see that football fans from all across the football spectrum are finding their way to this video and having an opportunity to show how sad they are and devastated. Ambrose from Uganda says, it's so disappointing for us in Uganda. Thank you, Ambrose. Thank you so much for watching so far afield. One of the best things about YouTube is you get this opportunity to speak to people from all over the world and to hear how they feel. And people forget about that. A lot of people get pissed off with people who do YouTube or try and grow an audience to kind of speak to people. But you have to realize how important it is, I think, to allow people from all over the world to vent their feelings and their emotions. And football is an amazing way to do that. Yeah, I was going to mention this earlier, actually. Thank you for your comments. It's like when the Brazilian team died in a plane crash a few years ago. I mentioned the Zambia team and obviously the Manchester United team back in Munich. But also, yeah, there was the Brazilian club team who died in an air crash. Probably it's one of those things where I feel like it was like yesterday, but it's probably as long as 10 years ago, maybe 5 or 10 years ago. That was devastating as well. Obviously, they were all cut down in their prime as well. Dipangel says, no word to explain. Sad day, Liverpool. It is devastating. Devastating. Oh dear, I'm just having to ban a user there. Farhan, rest in peace, Jota. Peace and love from Malaysia. Thank you so much, Farhan. Really appreciate that. Mary McGee says, God have mercy on his soul and his brother. You just don't know the minute. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. Just when it's someone who's famous, someone that you've seen perform in this instance as a footballer who you respect so much, you just kind of envy for their talents. It just hits so hard, doesn't it? It hits so hard. And Daniel Levy's accountant here, who's a regular viewer on my channel. Prayers for his family, friends, Liverpool, all his previous clubs, Portugal, and people associated with him. Rest in peace, Diogo. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Lots of you just so sad in the comments. Master, thank you for your comments. As I'm from Kenya, Manchester United fan. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Very sad. Yeah, just echoing all of our feelings, I think. And once again, some of you commenting in Portuguese, I assume. I'm not going to put the Portuguese comments up on the screen because I can't translate it. I can't be sure. I'm sure they're not negative in any way, but I can't be sure, and I don't want to take that risk. But just to say, I really appreciate those of you who are commenting in other nationalities, in other languages. Sorry, not nationalities. Yeah. Just seeing a lot of "you'll never walk alone" comments, and yeah, the perfect message. Diogo Jota will never walk alone. Interesting point from David in New Zealand here. Diogo's shirt number needs to be retired. I think that would be a really respectful way for Liverpool and Portugal to deal with this. Actually, that's a lovely idea. I think. Angie says, "I'm a City fan and I'm devastated about this terrible news." Yeah, once again, I don't think it matters who we support today. I don't think it matters which national team we follow. I think today is a day just to think about Diogo Jota. Yeah, I really think, club rivalries. Here we go. Mickey M. I was hoping we'd get some Wolves fans. I remember the joy he brought us joining from Wolves as... Oh, you're a Liverpool fan. Sorry, apologies. I remember the joy he brought us joining from Wolves as a superb striker, often used as a super sub. Yeah. Underrated. Talked about it earlier. Someone commented saying how underrated he was, and I completely agree. And I think, he joined a huge club in Liverpool and maybe didn't get as many minutes as he could have. But yeah, as a super sub, he was amazing. There's been a statement from Manchester United. Our deepest condolences are with the loved ones of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre and everyone connected with Liverpool Football Club following today's heartbreaking news. It's really important that Manchester United have come out and said it. Toby Tarrant, who's a broadcaster I respect, says, I think he's a Liverpool fan as well, says, completely numb. It just doesn't feel real. It's too unthinkably tragic. Thank you for some of the happiest memories of my life. Rest in peace, Diogo, his wife, his young children, his family and friends. You'll never walk alone. A complete tragedy. Oh, just awful. Just awful. Dearie me. Dearie me. I think he was 27, 28. Absolutely appalling. Nick Mensa says, a great loss for the Liverpool team and the entire world. Yeah. Robert makes a good point here. I wouldn't mind hearing it at the Lane today. You'll never walk alone. It would be amazing, actually, I think, I think on the first day of the Premier League season, every single club match should have at least a minute's silence at the beginning. And then also maybe the fans can get together and sing You'll Never Walk Alone at every ground. I think that would be a really nice touch. Just a thought. Oh dear. M23 says, I'm an Arsenal fan. Just heard the news about Diogo and his brother. Rest in peace, Diogo and his brother. Prayers to his family and friends. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota, from a Leeds fan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Coco Border says, he was an offensive machine, underrated, versatile, and a player of great character. May he rest in peace. He and his family will never walk alone. Really nice touch, I think, to kind of explain how underrated he was and what he did brilliantly on a football pitch. We should talk about the positive side of him today where we can, because obviously everything's so devastated, but he brought so many people just so much joy. Chelsea have released a statement. Everyone at Chelsea Football Club is devastated to learn of the tragic passing of Diogo Jota and his brother, Andre. Our thoughts go out to their family, friends, and all at Liverpool Football Club at this incredibly difficult time. Yeah, JS says he went out a champion, a Premier League winner. That's true. You'll never walk alone. Miguel Anak, you'll never walk alone. Never forgotten, always remembered you and your brother. Again, having to block some negativity here, which is sad. Such Tran agrees, says Liverpool should retire his jersey. Completely agree. This is a great point here. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to jump on today and talk to you guys. Tottenham Till I Die says, and we're stressing about transfers. Exactly. That's exactly it. We shouldn't be stressing about transfers. We should be enjoying the joy of what football brings to us. And, and as a Tottenham fan, and a lot of my audience are Tottenham fans, our fan base has been losing the plot a little bit because Spurs haven't made any signings really this summer yet, but it doesn't matter. We should be thinking about the positives especially on a day like this, but thinking about the positives. Tottenham just won a trophy for the first time, a proper big trophy for the first time since 1991. And yet we're all having it out on the internet about not having made a transfer. It doesn't matter. Life is what matters. Joy is what matters. Having these amazing footballers, perform for us week in, week out is what matters. and respecting them and appreciating them. And we don't do that enough. We don't appreciate these genius players nearly enough. And hopefully today if we can find any positivity in the long run from today, maybe it can be that we realize more about how important these players are and how much we need to respect them. Manchester City have released a statement saying, everyone at Manchester City is shocked and saddened to learn about the devastating news regarding the passing of Diogo Jota. We send our heartfelt condolences to his family and friends and everyone at Liverpool Football Club at this difficult time. Rest in peace, Diogo. Ezio says, me and my brother absolutely loved him. Special footballer. Yeah, he really was. He really was. And we'll still be able to watch highlights of how genius he was. Zed, thank you so much for your comment. It's not just a difficult day for specific fans of his clubs, but for all football fans. As a Manchester United fan, I'm devastated. One of the worst days for football I have ever witnessed. I cannot disagree. I cannot remember many feelings like it. Yeah, just absolutely appalling. I just got a message from my girlfriend saying that I'm being asked a lot to ban one person. I promise you that when I see comments that are negative in the comments box, I will ban them. But I'm trying to go through them all to give people an opportunity to have their comment read out. But I promise you, as soon as I see bad comments, I am deleting them. Can only promise you that. And also, like I said, I've turned the monetization off. You won't see any adverts on this stream. I'm not making any money from this. It's not about that. Timber says, I'm shocked. No words can define what real football fans are feeling. So deeply devastated. Just an awful day. Gav Hud says, way too young. I'm in shock. Rest in peace, Diogo. Yeah. Good point from Thomas here. Shocking news. Older Tottenham fans will be brought back to July the 21st, 1964, when the great John White was tragically killed by lightning on a golf course. Diogo and John, rest in peace. Yeah. Listen, I'm a Spurs fan, and that is kind of a legendary, I wasn't alive in 1964, but a legendary part of Tottenham's history. What a brilliant young player John White was, and how much we lost that day. And it's the same with Diogo Jota. And it was the same with the Busby Babes when their airplane went down in Munich in the early 60s. Matai, as an Arsenal fan, it's absolutely heartbreaking. We'll always remember his multitude of goals against us. May he rest in peace. Absolutely heartbreaking. No words. Thank you so much for your comment. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Abdallah says, my tears for Diogo. It shows me how much I was a fan of you. Rest in peace, Diogo. Zerks, really good point. And I'd forgotten about this, and I can only apologize for that. This feels like Emiliano Sala. Just feels so sad when soccer players die, especially when they're young. And this almost made me cry, man. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Of course, Emiliano Sala, who died. Oh, what a devastating story that was. He had just been bought by Cardiff from Nantes, I think, in France, if I remember rightly. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he was being flown over to sign his contract at Cardiff, and the plane went down in the English Channel. Oh, appalling. And it turned out, when the investigation was fully done, that the agent who had done the deal had employed a private plane pilot who wasn't licensed to fly. I think he either wasn't licensed to fly at night, which is when the journey happened, or he wasn't licensed to fly that type of plane. Just a terrible story. That was probably as long as 6-7 years ago now, but some of that is still going through the courts. But yes, that's a really great example. Thank you, Zerks, for that. Really great example of because I was saying I can't remember in my lifetime this really happening. It did happen with Salah. I guess, the reality, and it's, it doesn't, this kind of thing doesn't matter, but Diogo Jota is a bigger player, bigger name. But that's not important. But thank you for reminding us of that. David in New Zealand says, I'm so upset by this news. I've been a Liverpool fan for 53 years and endured Heysel and Hillsborough. I love Diogo. So upset by this news. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm really sorry for that. Oh, dearie me. Mahmood says, this is the saddest news I've heard about in football, especially since I'm a Liverpool supporter. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry. Dave Bird says, I've been a Spurs fan for over 60 years and my heart goes out to Liverpool, Diogo and his brother and their family. Rest in peace. Getting some more comments, negative comments. I will ban them when I see them, I promise. Apologies if I'm not able to ban them as quickly, because I'm not seeing them all as quickly as you guys are. Okay, yeah, I've seen one there. Got it. Banned. Oh dear. Ivan says, rest in peace, Diogo Jota from Dynamo Zagreb. Thank you for getting in touch here. Wolves fan here, may I ask what's happened? I'm sure by now, because you sent that a while ago, I'm sure you've got the news, mate. I apologise to all Wolves fans, Liverpool fans, Portuguese fans. This must be an especially horrific day for you today. Phil P, really good point. As Jota was one of the best finishers in the league. Rest in peace, champion. He really was an unbelievable finisher, a very underrated player, and unbelievable whenever he was so composed, pretty, just ruthless in front of goal. Really ruthless. John Racher. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andrew. Deepest heartfelt thoughts to your families and friends. Love and respect from all clubs and fans alike at this devastating news. We all unite at sad times like this, John R. Thank you so much for your comment. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Rio says, I'm a United fan, but it's heartbreaking. Every Liverpool fan and his family, and rest in peace, his brother. Rest in peace again. S. Swain from India. Rest in peace, Diogo and his brother from India. Still remember his last-minute winner in that 4-3 win against us. I do think this is a time to remember, the best parts of him and try and think positively where at all possible. I know it's difficult, but try and remember some positivity as well through the sadness. It's going to be a really, really emotional and sad day for I think for all football fans. Other than the very few who try and find negatives and ways to find, I don't know, to piss people off at moments like this and wind people up. But try and remember some positivity about Diogo Jota, just a brilliant footballer. Alicia says, as a Chelsea fans, deepest condolences to his family, Liverpool, his fans and his wife. He was a stunning player. Seriously, he was a stunning player. Thank you so much, Alicia. Really appreciate that. He was a stunning, stunning footballer. Really talented boy. His movement was excellent. Seemed to have a really good personality as well. And like I said, just a brilliant finisher, great vision, quick, nimble, lovely player. Lovely player. Darren Parks, a Wolves fan from Australia. Condolences to his family. I'm shocked at the news. Thank you so much for your comment. Really good point here from El Dante. I think too often we treat footballers as entities and commodities. Days like today remind us that they are human. A tragic loss, heartbreaking. Thoughts to Jota's friends and family. I couldn't agree more, mate. I could not agree more. I think that's a really great comment. And we need to think a bit deeper about these people who are so important in our lives. And think about how much joy they bring us. And we need to not treat them as entities and commodities. We need to respect them more. Oh, dear. Generational Gooner, thank you for jumping on, mate. So sad news. All football should show the world how they can come together. Parents have lost 2 sons from an Arsenal fan. Completely agree. We need to come together, find ways to do that. Couldn't agree more. Di Smith says, I'm a Liverpool fan since 1985 and I'm gutted after hearing this sad news about a genuinely good player who brought so much to my club as well as the Portuguese national team. Rest in peace. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Plenty of people just jumping on who've only just heard the news. Yeah, so sad. Benjamin says, rest in peace, Diogo, from a Chelsea fan. I'm feeling sad, wishing all the best to his family and Liverpool. This is the time to put rivalry at the side and be human. Absolutely terrible news. And a great point. It is about being human at the moment and trying to bring people together. So sad. Phil P says, massive love to everyone here. Important to be together and remember and try if we can to celebrate Jota, finisher supreme and champion. Couldn't agree more. That's what I want to do here is yes, give an audience to your sad messages and your feelings and your emotions, but also remember Diogo Jota for the player that he was, just a really fantastic player. I'm going to bring this up because I think it's an interesting question, and I did imagine that this would come. Is there really a need for you to stream this? It doesn't matter. It's not monetized. Tragic loss. Not sure this is the right thing to be doing. Listen, I'm bringing this up on screen because I'll be honest, like I was conflicted too. I asked my girlfriend about it, but I just think it is important to get some messaging across in moments like this. And I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But I think it's important to be like with other footballers, other football fans, and hear how people are feeling. And I'm going to say this as well. And maybe, Guy, you'll think I'm mental or I'm making this up or something. But men, and the majority of people in this stream watching are men, in reality, men do not talk enough, and men do not talk about enough in their lives anyway, but certainly around grief and certainly about things that upset them. And I personally think that anything that gives an opportunity to talk about emotion and talk about feelings of grief and devastation and negativity, and allow an opportunity for other men, not just men, women as well, but women are just much better at it. Any opportunity to give people a way of venting their feelings and their sadness is a good thing. And that's why I came, through my conflict of whether to jump on here. I came to the idea that I actually wanted to talk to people and give people an opportunity to say how they're feeling in the comments. That's how I feel about it. But I do understand why you've asked that question, Guy, and that's why I brought it up on screen. I appreciate you commenting. Liam says, very sad day at Liverpool. We're all in utter disbelief, and we're also shocked at the news of what was announced. I'm also in utter disbelief, so I've been a Liverpool fan for 16 years. I'm so sorry, Liam. I can't imagine. I know how I feel, and I'm not a Liverpool fan. It's not one of the players that plays for the club that I love. So I can only imagine how you Liverpool fans are feeling, and I don't envy it. I'm so sorry for you. Liam also says we've just lost one of the smiliest Liverpool players ever. Yeah, he, like I said earlier, he just seemed to have a really great way of being, a really great personality. Live and Venture says hopefully fans will keep singing his name for years to come. Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope so. I'd love to see that for sure. And Liam agrees with what we were talking about earlier. We need to retire the number 20. This is a really good point, because this is something that comes up when you realize he was the same age as you are. Life is never guaranteed or granted. Rest in peace. That feeling of knowing you're the same age as people who pass away, it's so strange. As you get older, it happens more and more. It's such a devastating feeling. There's been a police statement, guys. I'm going to read this out. Bit of a trigger warning here, guys. There is some kind of very literal information about what happened. Police statement from the Guardia Civil. The information we have so far is that the car was in a road traffic accident and left the road due to a tyre blowout while overtaking. It was in the early hours, 12:30, in the municipality of Sanadia in the province of Zamora. The car caught on fire. Just shocking news. Shocking, horrible news. Geek Jinx, thanks for your comment, mate. I remember when Liverpool bought him, there were many clubs who wanted him. Looking at his highlights, there was always a light-up smile on that man. The game has lost a star and a special man. Completely agree. Sligo Spurs says, terrible tragedy and senseless. Let's all use this day to remember that rivals are people with families that should never be treated badly on chats or otherwise. I completely agree. Thank you so much, Sligo, for that lovely comment. Walnut, thank you for your comments. Says, under all the glory and despite living under a microscope, footballers are just people trying to find their way in life. Jota is about the age of my son. Such a stunning and shocking end. Yeah, and a really, really good point. This is an opportunity for us to all remember how life is just on a cliff edge all the time. Anything can happen, and you've got to love those close to you. Tell them that you love them. Tell them how you feel about them. Tell them how important they are to you, and live your life. You only get one chance at it. Simon Maguire, thank you, mate. Says, well said, Barnaby. Sharing is so important at times like this. I hope so. I do hope so. But also, I do appreciate why that person sent that comment. Rover says, Tranmere fan here. Rest in peace, Jota, great player. Robert says, you're right, Barn. It's a moment to gather how humans get over tragedy. I'm glad that you see some positivity there. And GW Coy says, appreciate the reply and for not skipping over the topic. It's good to discuss things like this. I think you raised some good points regarding creating space for men's mental health. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. Thank you, GW Coys. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, this is a good point from Robert, actually. In today's tech, we can across the world share the tragedy. I mean, we do talk a lot, and I've talked a lot even on this stream about the negativities of social media. But technology does allow grief sharing as well, which I think can be a good thing if done in the right way. So I assume this is from a Wolves fan. Rest in peace, Diogo. Once a wolf, always a wolf. Yeah, I feel for you today, Wolves players. Generational Guna says, I had exactly the same thought whether to do a video, so I did a short. It's football news. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. And then Phil Jones says, this is shit. This is really shit. But football aside, he just got married and leaves 3 kids without a dad. I'm gutted, absolutely gutted. Liverpool fan, but I feel for his family so much. Thank you, Phil. And just finally with this one, thank you to all the football community for showing your love, regardless of your fan loyalty. Love to all my fellow football fans. Yeah, and I want to end it on that, guys. Love to everybody. And thank you for getting involved. And try, where possible, to use this as a day to remember Diogo Jota as a brilliant, brilliant footballer, underrated, incredible finisher, genius, elite Premier League footballer for Liverpool, for Wolves, and for the Portuguese national team as well. And yeah, try and use today, obviously I'm sure we'll take in all the news as it comes along, take it in, and then just keep those close to you, as close as you can. And yeah, and just, guys, share your feelings, share how you feel about these things, because sometimes I think when people in the public eye pass away, it's an opportunity for you to share how you feel about grief. And maybe sometimes it's an easier thing to share it when it's someone you don't personally know, but you feel like you know, than it is when you have to deal with grief in your own life. Yeah. And just try and find some positivity in the day. All right, guys, thanks so much. Cheers.